Yeah, it's going great. Very excited about the rollout of the Arbitrum launch today. Users can now get access to the 6.5% savings rate, and now we support Ethereum base and now Arbitrum. So it's great. Yeah, so Spark is part of the Sky ecosystem. So we have a lending market called Sparklen, but more recently we've been allocating across all of DeFi. So part of the strategy is multi-chain expansion, and so the addition of Arbitrum is just a first step, and we will soon be actively allocating into the lending markets there as well. So the idea is that when users are using, say, third-party lending markets such as Aave, Morpho, Fluid, et cetera, et cetera. They can just pick the lending market that they prefer and then borrow with the collateral, and we will come in and supply the stablecoin capital to fill the other side of that. And this system, we're just scaling it up now. In a few weeks, you should see this as a fairly seamless back end integration where the experience in DeFi is just going to get a lot better. Where previously, if you were on these L2s, liquidity fragmentation is like a real concern where if you borrow like, a couple million, the rates will spike and you have to wait for more capital to come in. Spark is at the size where we can automate this entire thing such that you basically don't have to worry about this anymore. You can just use your favorite lending market, your favorite chain, and you can be confident that the capital is going to come in on the other side.
Doing amazing, Phil. Thanks for hosting. Thanks for having us. Really excited to be with you guys. Of course. Zapper is a name probably most have already heard of. OG project in this space. I'd say probably most people know us kind of as that portfolio tracker, cross-chain portfolio tracker to have an overview of all your on-chain assets, your tokens, your DeFi balances. If you have a DeFi position in Spark, for example, if you're holding USDS, things like that, it gives you a global overview of your portfolio. But Zapper is more than that. We're also on-chain explorer, where you can discover new apps, new NFT collections, new tokens, what's trending on chain, very easily on our own page. And we're also, with all that data that we have, we also have an API product where builders can easily access the Zapper data to build their own apps very easily. So Zapper has evolved into many things through the years. And for myself, product operations, growth as well. I joined Zapper about a year ago, and prior to that, I worked for a DEX that I think Sky has co-marketed with. So I'll name it Maverick prior to joining Zapper.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I'm MonetSupply. I've been in the DeFi trenches for some time, and I'm risk consultant with Block Analytica. We're like the primary, basically risk service provider and contributor to Spark. So yeah, we're super excited about the launch on Arbitrum. This is going to open up a lot more opportunities to integrate with cool DeFi protocols. Both um, the ones that we're all familiar with from L1, like Aave and such, but also there's a whole ecosystem of um, Arbitrum native projects that will be really cool to check in on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, price action has been a little bit negative over the past month, but we've been very heads down, just like shipping nonstop. Over the past few months, yeah, some milestones. Base was launched in November to great success. We've seen lots of deposits into savings USDS on Base, grown to it peaked at about 80 million in total deposits, within the span of a few weeks. So that was very encouraging. And then later we rolled out the integrations with Aave and Morpho on Base, and now most recently Fluid. On Ethereum mainnet, similar integrations we've rolled out for Aave, Morpho, Sparkland, and yeah, really just ramping this up. And Arbitrum is the latest in just this rapid expansion cross chain. So we're going to just keep integrating chains and protocols and just scaling the whole thing up. And what I'm excited for in 2025, I mean, there's a lot, but one of the things I would say is finally adding a tether support. So previously there was not first class support for tether. There is first class support for USDC. So onboarding that is another asset, is going to be very useful for not only people who are native tether users can get easier access to the savings rate, but also we can start plugging tether into the Spark liquidity layer and making a yield on top of that. So yeah, I mean, lots going on. It's going to be very exciting, and we're very excited about the Sky ecosystem, the launch of the sub DAOs finally. So Spark, it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this. Finally, this will be launching quite soon. And the very unique thing about the Spark token distribution is that there's no VC unlock. It's going to be a very fair distribution with 70% going out as farming. So if you have USDS or Sky tokens, you can put them into vaults, and then you'll be able to get SBK tokens, which you can then use for staking. Which, yeah, we're pretty excited to get this going.
Yes. So if I got Sam's info correct, I need to move my sleeping SUSDS in my wallet. So I'll take a note on that for for after the call. But yeah, Zapper, just maybe a retro of the last 12 months, been super busy. I think Sam mentioned kind of trying to launch on new chains frequently. Zapper, we were kind of in the same vibe where when I joined 1 year ago, Zapper supported 10 chains. And now today, I think the count is at 50 or almost 50 chains now supported on Zapper. So there was always that like kind of cat and mouse game where there's new chains launching, liquidity moving around, users moving around. So we want to make sure that we keep up with where the activity is. So just like also Sky launching on Arbitrum, we're already supporting that. We want to make sure that we support other chains, the apps, where our users are, because we're what the users expect from us is kind of showcasing the full portfolio. Looking ahead, I think a lot of focus will on our side will be on the API product, where we really want to leverage that and help builders again across all 50 of our supported chains. We have so much data that we hold from app positions, like who's holding what position on different apps, tokens, the prices, everything. So we want to make sure that builders in the space that want access to quality data have it accessible. So a lot of focus for Zapper will be on that end, because we'll have a very polished portfolio product that we'll keep having also for our users. So definitely going to that kind of focus for us in 2025.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely been interesting times so far. We're only what like a month into the Trump administration, and we've already seen some pretty wild swings in the market. Even just like yesterday was, I think, in terms of dollar value, it was like the biggest or the second biggest crash in crypto prices ever. Um, but we've seen, over the past 5 years, at least, we've seen that DeFi mechanisms and protocols are incredibly resilient to market volatility that's been, even worse than we've seen this year so far. So I think the prospects overall are quite good. Um, Spark is really in a unique position, I think, going into 2025. We've got the Spark liquidity layer really starting to hit its stride. Like every few weeks, there's like a new protocol being integrated. So, um, it puts a premium, I think, on being um, careful about risk, and each new integration, we dig in really deep to make sure that it's got its kind of its ducks in order and such. So yeah, I think it's going to put a premium on making sure everything is thoroughly reviewed as it gets integrated. But with that being said, there's a whole ecosystem of really resilient, strong, super capable DeFi protocols, and I'm excited to keep onboarding them, kind of, bring a little bit more like WAGMI vibes to DeFi, and all the top protocols. Like there's no reason we shouldn't be working together more closely.
Yeah. So RWAs are a very key aspect of DeFi, and like so the original RWA, which is stablecoins, and people don't really think of them as RWAs, but they are, and like this is still remains the killer app of DeFi. So and blockchains in general, beyond like the Bitcoin use case. Um, so yeah, like payments and stuff like that with USD stable coins is already like proven itself with product market fit. So we see these cycles with like NFTs, meme coins, stuff like that. It comes and goes. But like really the durable use case for crypto is stable coins so far. I do believe there's going to be other killer use cases in the future. And so I view this whole process as just a gradual onboarding of traditional finance onto DeFi rails. If you ever look at, if you're involved in TradFi at all, it runs on spreadsheets. It's very inefficient. It's crazy some of the stuff like how it works, and it's just so clear that DeFi is a better fit for running finance on. And so this progress of just tokenizing everything, I think it's an inevitability just because of the improvements to capital efficiency within TradFi. So we start with stable coins. That's the first one. T bills have become popular because of the high interest rates, but I think we're going to see more and more things coming on chain. Tokenized corporate debt, eventually equities, stuff like this. So yeah, I think like we're in such an early stage of where things are going, but it's very clear in my mind about where it's going to go. And Spark's position with this, Spark with access to the largest on-chain stablecoin USDS, we're able to allocate across all of these opportunities. So right now, primary yield comes from crypto over collateralized lending, and this is due to people speculating on the price of Bitcoin and ETH. And we also have access to this via the funding rate in centralized exchanges, like via products like Athena, as well as we have the T-bill rate. But once more of these RWAs come on chain, Spark is in the best position, in my view, to actively manage between these various opportunities and get the best possible risk-adjusted return for those who are deposited into savings USDS.
Yeah, I mean, I think the RWA space, it's maybe it's a bit less exciting or like sexy than the sort of like Wild West of crypto native assets and on chain. Um, but it is a lot more durable. Just like Sam said, it's the part of the space that we've seen growing year in, year out, regardless of market cycles. With a few speed bumps, the RWA balances on chain, including stablecoins, have been pretty much just up only, just like a straight line up. Um, so I think it's a super important part of the market to focus on. And I also think in a way it's going to be a really key part of how we communicate the value prop of DeFi to the wider world. If we're just, you know, looping and leveraging and trading between different flavors of magical internet money, which, we understand why, a token like ETH or Bitcoin is valuable, but to the outside observer, it kind of just looks like a bit of a joke. Um, but when you bring in, real sort of hard assets, tokenized assets that everyone understands, how and why they're valuable, and then you combine that with the resilience and the sort of 24/7 operations and the uptime and the transparency of DeFi protocols, I think it's going to really hit home of um, how valuable everything that we've been building actually is, and how much this can really do for the rest of the world. That you know people who do not care about crypto at all are going to get a lot of benefit out of these sort of DeFi primitives that we've been working on. So I think that's something I'm really excited about, like with the merger of tokenized assets and DeFi is just being able to tell our story to a wider audience. Like, what we're building is going to be super useful for you.
Yeah, that's a great question and probably a great challenge as well. I think we touched on the kind of the meme coin craze that we had recently that brought a totally new audience that is a bit less like technically literate. And how do we keep those people in? How do we keep those people with us? For us at Zapper, I'd say that like the how we view it is that we really want to make the on-chain information as easy to understand as possible. That's one of our core mission is to make the blockchain human readable. We have a whole interpretation layer where we kind of translate in easy to understand format any blockchain transaction. That's something we've been working on in the last few years. So for us, it's really through that digestion of information for anyone to be able to jump in, understand what's happening in their portfolio, have an easy access to discover new apps, new projects, because this space moves so fast. Every day there's a new project. Every day a new project is launching on a new chain. So it can be overwhelming for someone that is completely new to DeFi. I think we all agree that this is kind of the way forward. So we want to make sure that we are welcoming correctly new users to this space. So that's a big focus for Zapper, where we have a portfolio that covers 50 chains, and that we're able to integrate everything and make it easy to understand for anyone. So that's kind of our focus and our mission on our side.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've had a little bit of a turbulent past month, but I think overall things are going in a good direction. Especially, we see the shift in U.S. policy in particular to being more pro crypto, and I think this is ultimately a great thing. We see legislation going through that will regulate the industry. And I think, well, I believe in user choice, permissionless blockchains, all this kind of stuff. I think at the interface, particularly with RWAs, I think having a regulatory framework makes a lot of sense. And so, maybe the craziness is done. Maybe there's a new thing on the horizon. I don't know. We'll continue to be building through all of it. And I think we have one of the most compelling products on the blockchain, which is, if you have stable coins, you can earn a very good risk-adjusted yield in savings USDS on the Spark app. Just deposit. You can deposit from USDC, and when you're ready to exit on whichever chain you're on, so now Ethereum, Base, and Arbitrum, you can exit into USDC and pay people or whatever you need to do, but always be parking that idle capital, earning at least the risk-free rate. And during bull markets, you get access to the rate, the usually even sometimes double-digit rates of returns that people are willing to pay taking leverage. And so we're very excited to just keep building out integrations on different chains and just really ramping this up in 2025.
Yeah, same here. Just Zapper team is focused on building, not looking at the price action. But I think we're promised some exciting news from the US, specifically for crypto today. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And also very curious to see how dominoes falls in other countries. Will other countries kind of follow suit, feeling forced to keep up, or will it be mostly like US focused? And in the meantime, whatever the price is, there's always exciting new opportunities on chain. So for those that want to explore, visit Zapper. We always have new apps surfacing on our Explore page, and you can easily track your Spark positions, your USDC token, see the prices of 4 million tokens on chain. So it's a good way to keep just like busy, keep curious while the price is not as expected or not as we wish.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the Spark roadmap in the next year and just expanding uh, the use of USDS and the Spark liquidity layer across chains and across protocols. I think it, puts us in a position where we can partner up with the best lending protocols and dexes and stuff to like generate um, sustainable yield, and also partner with great distribution partners and infrastructure people like Zapper to make sure that we're connecting with end users as well. Um, yeah, I think it's just going to be like the connective tissue that brings all the best that DeFi has to offer together, and super excited to be a part of it. And I think it's a really exciting community to join for other people kind of on the outside looking in right now as well. So definitely tap in.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks everybody.
Thanks.